We are standing in front of one of the newest rentals in Reno.
Absolutely.
Ryan, you rent, right?
I am a renter, actually.
Yeah.
And Joe, you bought a house.
I bought a house last year. Yeah,
Look
I
at
am
that.
a homeowner.
So yeah, today we are talking renting versus buying in Reno, Nevada.
What better two guys to go over that than
A renter and a homeowner.
there we go. Stay tuned. Welcome to the channel, guys.
Maybe welcome back to the channel.
Maybe welcome back. I'm Joe Hanich.
I'm Ryan Chikvara.
We're doing all things Northern Nevada.
Yeah, what it's like to eat, sleep, play,
Live,
hike, bike,
swim,
maybe kayak. It's a beautiful day for something like that.
you name it, we're covered. And we
Yeah.
even talk about rentals.
Yeah. We get all sorts of questions on rentals all the time. So we figured we might as well do a little deep dive.
Definitely, we are jumping into the rental market. Some of the pros, some of the cons.
Yeah.
We get these questions all the time. We would like to point out, Ryan and I are licensed real estate agents in the state of Nevada.
This is true.
To buy and sell real estate only. We do not deal with rentals. We do not hold those licenses, nor do we wish to hold those licenses.
Yeah, that being said, I mean, we get those questions all the time, so we did want to point that out, right?
Yeah,
So,
and we still help people with rentals, point them in different directions.
yeah, we know the neighborhoods out here, so if there is something you're looking at and you want to know, proximity to schools, all that sort of stuff, we can definitely point you in the right direction. So,
Definitely. If this is your first time to the channel, you gotta tap that little bell,
dang it.
hit the subscribe button.
We're putting out videos almost every week. It's been a couple weeks maybe since we put one out. We've been wheeling and
busy.
dealing. We've been so busy. So,
Definitely. So if this is your, if you are moving to the area,
yeah.
you gotta call us, text us, you gotta email us. Let us know you're coming, what you're looking for, because we're here to help.
Yeah, we're the guys answering the texts and the calls. It's just me and Joe. So,
Definitely. And we're jumping into this one, rentals.
what are we right now we're standing in front of one of
We're
them, right?
standing right in front of
This
some
is-
of my favorite clients in the whole world.
Yep.
Just bought this property 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Complete gut job on the inside
It needed to work.
and turning it
And they did
into
it.
a rental. Yeah,
So.
it's just hitting the market right now. By the time this video comes out, it will already be rented.
Yeah.
But we figured there was no better place to shoot the video than in front of one of our investor clients.
Yeah, and we're talking all things rentals today. That brings me to just one of the points we wanted to mention.
Yeah.
The vacancy rate in Reno right now, 3.7%. So as far as inventory goes out there, super low
Yeah.
when it comes to rentals.
Definitely. And if you are owning investment properties, it's great news for you.
Yeah.
Not a lot of turnaround, and it's crazy.
Yeah, you've got some other clients that you bought and sold for as well that are renting in some of the high rises and stuff downtown. Same thing, and they're getting basically whatever they've asked for. So
Yeah, definitely. In condos, it depends. I mean, there is a lot of inventory out right now, but the rental market is still super strong.
yeah, so we can touch real quick on the average apartment out in Reno right now. For square footage wise, is going to be about 854 square feet.
Yeah.
Price point there, $1,580.
Just under $1,600 for an apartment.
Yeah. And so obviously those are the averages there. So things are fluctuating, whether it be a studio,
Yeah.
smaller if you're downtown living, you might be paying $1,400. If it's a bigger apartment somewhere in a different part of town, might have more square footage, right?
Definitely.
So
And
all
when we're
fluctuate, and those are just the averages.
For sure, yeah, and on average, too, for single family residents, we're just under $2,700 per month
Yeah,
on that rent.
$2,680, and that's going to be a 2 to 3 bedroom, most likely. 2 to 3 bedrooms make up 60%
Yeah.
of the rentals here in Reno.
From
So,
all the stats we're looking at, it is 0.2 homes, and what was the other website?
Rent Cafe. Those
Rent
are
Cafe.
those are our two that we kind of used to gather all this information for you. So that being said, though, with a 2 to 3 bedroom home, sometimes 4 bedroom, depending once again where you're at, neighborhood, all that sort of stuff. Rental wise, you're looking at about $2,700, which brings us to buying a
Purchasing.
home, right? We always want to compare those two things. We know interest rates have been going up,
Yeah.
and so that scared off a lot of buyers, right? Buying power has gone down a little bit.
Yep.
The market here has leveled off for the most part. We are starting to see I think recently about 25%.
A quarter of the market, we saw price decreases.
Exactly.
A lot of people have fallen out of the buyer pool because interest rates have gone up, so buying power has dropped. The homes they were looking at, they can no longer afford. and we're seeing more inventory coming up.
Yeah.
So less competition for buyers. So the market's kind of still a seller's market. Don't get me wrong. Inventory is still at an all-time low, but it's shifting a little bit.
Yeah, and so that being said, I think median home price we were talking about has still
Right around
been,
$550.
So, and that's been pretty standard for a while now. But with a $550,000 home, 5% interest rate, obviously all that stuff fluctuates depending on credit score and that stuff. We went with the 5%.
And 5% down, we're looking at about $3,000 a month for a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
That's covering, right, insurance, taxes, and the mortgage itself.
Exactly. And so when you're comparing and contrasting their single family home as a rental being $2,680, about $2,700, and purchasing that home being
Right around
about $3,000,
$3,000.
it's a $300 difference, right?
Crazy to be a homeowner
versus a renter,
Yeah,
right?
versus having a landlord.
That's the old classic sort of real estate quote there, is that, you know, you're paying interest on a home that you're buying might be 5%, but when you are paying interest on rent, that is 100%.
Definitely.
You
Yeah.
never see that come back in any way, shape, or form. You got no equity.
Ever. It doesn't always make sense for everyone to buy right away.
No, and it doesn't. And we want to caveat that. As much as we love to help clients get into a home, we know for even a bunch of our friends, right, now is not the right time for people.
Definitely.
Right? Now
Yep.
is the time to put that plan into place and start to save up money to get you into a home, right?
Yeah, and we actually have clients right now that are ready to buy, but they don't necessarily have to. So we've had some conversations with some people that like, let's wait for 6 months, you know, take a look at the market, right? It's starting to change a little bit more towards a buyer's market. And then in the 6 months, right, prices might come down to exactly where you want it to.
Yeah.
And then we can pull the trigger on the home sale.
And as soon as you see that sort of that mesh between price coming down and then anticipating, you know, in the next year or so, interest rates coming back down a little bit, with a recession potentially, that might just be the perfect time to get you into a home. So.
Definitely. Yeah. So there's kind of comparing, obviously, one big stat we did want to point out, if you do have pets and you are a renter,
That is a huge one.
the rental market is just not,
Not for you potentially.
it basically it's not for you.
Yeah.
The stats that we were looking up, Ryan and I looked at homes between 1,000 to 3,000 square foot.
Yeah.
And I think there were 158 single-family resident properties.
That fit that criteria of just
In
the square footage.
Yeah,
But
exactly. So for the average family, it's probably right around there. And then you added in pets.
And
That
that's to include cats and or dogs.
cats or
Yeah.
dogs. We added pets. That 158 dropped down to 17 properties.
17 properties, which is absolutely crazy, right? I mean, we've dealt with that in the past where we've had clients who are just looking to rent potentially for a couple months,
Yeah.
to figure out what they're going to do. They want to be here in Reno, but they're like, we just want to get a feel for neighborhoods, this and that. And they're like, where can we go right now? We got a cat, just one cat. And they're like, we can't find anywhere to go.
That's the tough part. And then a lot of times, even, you know, if they say cats or dogs, they're going to have restrictions on how big the dog, how old the dog.
Yeah, I'm a huge pit bull lover. I've got a lot of friends and family who have pit bulls. The sweetest dogs I've ever met.
Yeah.
They get such a terrible rap. Obviously, any dog can be a bad dog sort of thing. But every time I see that, my sister's got a pit mix, and it's like, she's like,
Can't rent?
her Airbnb that she has, she's like, yes, by all means, I know that it's just a dog, right? So, and some of the deposits, like you said, can be absolutely astronomical.
Definitely.
And no return on that,
Yeah.
right? They're like, give us $2,000 up front for your dog, and you're never going to see that money again.
Definitely.
So,
Even if your dog's a freaking saint and the home is treated perfectly and nothing happens because of the animals.
you know, and I don't want to offend anyone here, but sometimes the small dogs, man, those are the worst.
The worst.
Just that little yapping. When you've had a long day, I can't do the yapping. I can't. I'd rather take a big loud bark than the little yap.
Yeah.
Personally, so don't want to offend nobody, but man,
For sure.
So-
as far as affordability, obviously prices, home prices, rent prices have feel like they've been going sky high and haven't slowed down until as of recently. Reno is actually right on the national average.
yeah, I think rental price wise, I think we saw on Rent Cafe that we were just right basically at it. I think on .2 homes, information slightly different. I think we're just a bit above national average, but the trend over the last basically 3 years
Yeah.
has followed with the national average.
Yeah.
So
And that's been about like 25 to 30% increase
Yeah,
for
so I-
us here locally.
exactly. So yeah, I think over those 3 years, it was basically average rent on that apartment being $1,200 now, or $1,250 up to about $1,600. So.
Yeah. So even if you're not looking to rent, if you're looking to buy a rental property, the market's starting to change. We're seeing more inventory. This right here is a prime example. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, converted the garage here right behind Ryan. It's just a sweet property. We've got an extended driveway,
Yeah.
2-car garage, good sized backyard. I actually really do love this house quite a bit. But
So yeah, a few other things we wanted to touch on. Vacant or in Reno, 52% of the housing market, people in these homes are renters.
Are rental
right?
properties,
So just a ton of people renting right now, which I think, I touched on 3.7% vacancy rate.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people renting out here.
definitely,
So,
and I think those rentals are the ones on the market. I mean, they're going to be gone. I don't know. They're moving quickly
Really
with
quickly.
that vacancy and kind of where people are on the fence about buying or renting. It's a lot easier to jump into a rental than it is to purchase a home.
yeah, it's a
obviously.
strong rental market. We've had another client that we had down in Gardnerville, down in the Ranchos area.
Yeah.
And he was, we were back and forth trying to get him into a home and just wanted to make sure we were in a spot where he could get it rented.
Yeah. He just
and-
wanted to make his mortgage, like
Yeah.
not cash flow or anything like that.
Yeah.
He is cash flowing.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. We are so excited for him. The property is exactly what he wanted.
And so, yeah, that is one last thing that I think I'd like to touch on as far as if you are a homeowner and you're looking to get into buy a second home to use as a rental property.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that down payment and interest rates are not the same.
Yeah,
Right.
not even
a lot
close.
of people are thinking, hey, when interest rates were low at that like 3.5 or whatever, it's like, hey, let's put this amount down and get that second home. And it's like, nah,
That's
you
not
actually
it, yeah.
need, closer to 20% up there down, and your interest rate is higher.
Yeah.
Just because.
Definitely primary residence. Obviously, it's where
Exactly.
it's at. So if you get living there for a year, 2 years, turn it into a rental, and on to the next one, you'll save some money on the old down payment.
Absolutely. But yeah,
There
so
we have it.
that is renting versus buying here in the Reno, Nevada area.
Yeah.
Like we said, we don't deal with rentals. We'd love to help you out. If you have questions, feel free to shoot us a text or whatever. We'll try and guide you in the right direction. But yeah, with once again that 3.7% vacancy rate, we've reached out to rental companies.
They don't need our help. Yeah,
they don't
they're-
want nothing to do with us.
Get outta here.
There's no
They've got-
incentive
Yeah.
to work with us basically, and so
They've got plenty of applicants that
yeah.
they don't need our leads.
trying to
from,
partner
so.
up and help you guys get into somewhere. They don't want us.
Definitely.
So
Well, guys, there we have it.
that's renting versus buying in Reno.
Definitely. Have any questions, reach out.